From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
My God.
It is.
What was that noise I just heard?
Well, we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. Welcome into the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Man, we made it through another round of ice and freezing rain on Wednesday and Thursday. Finally, the sun came out on Friday and melted a lot of it away. But, Pappy, I hear we may have some more of it tonight. You never know.
Well, I'm still in waiting for that 70-degree weather they was bragging about last week.
Yes, myself included. That is exactly correct.
Yep.
Hey, it's nice to have everybody with us today. The Grandpa and Pappy Show is the only podcast in the podcast world that gives you, our viewers, an opportunity to give us your opinions on different topics that we have every day and questions of the day.
That's a fact, Jack.
And you guys have come up with it again. But
as usual,
before we dive into our thrux of our show, a lot of things going on. Russia has invaded Ukraine, and the world is kind of waiting to see what's going on with that and how different countries, specifically NATO, is going to respond. And it'll be interesting to see. I saw this morning where President Biden has allocated $350 million in aid, military aid, to Ukraine, so he'll be sending up some of the big guns.
He's sent another 7,000 troops over there.
That's exactly correct.
And they're all bad boys too.
Yeah, they sure are. And there's so many things that we could talk about on how we could stop the stem from Russia going in any further to Ukraine.
Yep.
But that's another show, and we'll talk about that soon.
And this is something that you really can't blame Trump on.
Just a input, just a notification, just came out just now. Breaking news: Russia's increasingly frustrated by lack of momentum in Ukraine. They weren't expecting as much resistance from the Ukrainians as they thought.
Oh, they're blowing up at
You
it.
know, let me draw a comparison here, because Ukraine is about the size of the state of Texas, and
Second largest country over there.
yeah, and if you stop and think about comparisons, think about 1836 when Texas was trying to get its independence from Mexico.
Yeah.
And the fellas there at the Alamo and Goliad faced huge numbers against them and stood their ground to the last man, and which gave only more momentum to the Texan forces. And Sam Houston and the Texans defeated Santa Anna at the Battle of San Jacinto. Now, you take a look at that, and Russia, who's got all these massive amounts of troops and equipment moving into Ukraine, as Karen just told us on that news bulletin, Ukrainians are making a stand like the Texans did. And they are fighting tooth and nail. Every man, woman that wants a gun is being given one, and they're out there fighting for their country. So,
well, the president said,
here's to you, boys and
Ukraine
girls.
said they're in the least bit intimidated.
That's exactly correct.
They,
But we'll try to keep you updated on that as our shows go on. But today we got an interesting topic for you, and that is, with inflation like it is, the average American, Pappy, is really, really suffering at the gas pump. And you can tell us about that.
you're sitting next to one.
Oh my goodness, the cost of diesel has just gone through the roof.
And these prices behind me are not current prices in Fort Worth, Texas.
No.
Trust me.
But I'll tell you, the cost of gas is eating up the budgets of Americans around our great country, and we need to do something about it. So we ask you, our fine viewers, and used to when somebody would say, "I've got gas,"
Well, they usually say pull my finger and you'd find out.
you would expect them to be losing their manners anytime soon. But now when you say you have gas, people look at you like, golly, he's a rich man. He's got gas in his vehicle.
And anywhere I go, people ask me, how can you afford diesel for this damn thing?
Oh,
I
man,
said,
I don't know how you do it.
That's what makes it go. You know, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? But I am in the process of getting rid of old Big Black Betty.
Well,
Got a couple of deals working that I'm going back to a gas pusher half-ton truck. I
There you
drive
go.
an F-350 Super Duty Platinum, and it loves the diesel.
Yes, it does.
What is it, up to 389?
That's
389
something like that
a
I saw
gallon.
yesterday, a gallon.
That was
Yeah.
across the street from the field office.
Good Lord of mercy.
Damn.
Well, we ask you, our great viewers out there, what can be done about the high gas prices that we're seeing right now? And as usual,
Yeah.
you guys have come through again
You rock.
with some good answers. So let's, what do you say, Pappy? Let's just jump right in and see what they had to say.
Head first, brother.
Paul Edgar says to get Trump back in office, first of all. Marjorie Phillips agreed, saying, yes, when Trump was president, we were energy independent.
That's a fact.
And that is correct.
That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
John Bossy told us that we need to change Congress in November and the White House in 2024, and that's been my contention the whole time. Put a Republican back in Oval Office.
Put a businessman back in.
We had one that didn't work out for us. With that accomplished, remove the environmentalist and elitist from position of authority and put people who understand the energy industry back in charge. Amen on that.
Mm-hmm.
This administration, all of them, make the peanut farmer look like a genius. I got to hand it to him. That's an accomplishment. Bruno,
I promise you a bigger goober than ever pot.
just like the jelly bean days. Bruno Leon Bruno told John, "That is so true," and I agree with it. Well said, John.
Well, Pappy Misty Collier said it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Restart the Alaska pipeline and loosen the restrictions on the oil and gas industry.
Bam.
The experts in this field know what they're doing, and they estimate we have enough fossil fuel here in the United States alone to last several lifetimes. We need to quit cowling down to the left wing wanting to abolish the fossil fuel industry. And that is a good point.
And what is that Texan definition of expert?
What?
Expert. X meaning former or has been, and spurt meaning small quantity under pressure.
Oh, I got you.
That's where your rocket science is coming from.
All right, now we have been educated for the day.
That's right. You heard it here first, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's see, where are we? Lisa Holt told us to open up domestic oil production. Randall Gates said to deport anti-American politicians and teachers, and Stephanie Williams said put the Keystone Pipeline in production and start relying on U.S. oil, not foreign oil.
I agree with that, Lisa and Randall. I surely do.
Yep, There you have it.
Ronnie Barnett said the government doesn't want lower prices. It's part of a plan to force electric cars on the public and eventually restrict people's freedom. The Biden administration is already working on it in the legislation they passed in the infrastructure bill. And Terry McDonald simply said, exactly.
That's right. Bingo.
I mean, you can't follow it up with anything better than that, but exactly.
And that's what they don't want to happen up in capital city.
Ain't it so?
Mark Walters said, get the left-wingers out of Washington. Their
Bingo.
only agenda is to make America turn into a socialist country. Well, that and there's a lot of money involved. We have done we have done fine in the years since we discovered oil and gas and had no problems until they started putting restrictions on the industry. Trump knew this and took advantage of it, and we once more became energy independent. It is that simple.
It is that simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's no...
You want to stop Putin over there? Open up our oil and gas industry again.
Well, that's what our leader of the country, I still have a problem
Should.
calling him a damn president. That's what brought all this on. You know, what the hell is his new agenda?
Well, you never know. Pappy James Gordon Wolf says the only way to bring down prices is to reduce demand.
Yep.
However, this can lead to deflation, which in turn could lead to depression. So we need to be careful in reducing demand. Mark Carrington said that Trump had it controlled nicely. Now, we're going to note here that these two had a very lively conversation and debate between the two of them, but it was,
saw that, yeah.
again, very respectfully toward one another. And they brought out their points, and we appreciate that, folks. I mean, there's no need to insult one another when you're trying to get your opinions heard, and we encourage that here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show. A great exchange of ideas always makes us smarter than when we were before we started reading them.
You know, that's something
But
I'm very proud of.
keep it civil.
too.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the fact that our listeners respect each other's opinions. It's a very rare case that somebody jumps on our Facebook show page and bashes the hell out of somebody else. But we appreciate that.
And when that happens, they are bye-bye.
That's right.
We won't stand for
we
it.
push the ejection button.
That's exactly correct.
Cynthia West told us that she agrees with a lot of previous opinions and that Trump understood the need to be energy independent, or dependent, rather. I also believe that if the Alaska pipeline was being constructed to bring oil from their limitless supply offshore to the U.S. for our usage. Our inflation started when Biden halted the pipeline, caused massive job losses, and put restrictions on the oil and gas industry.
And that is a very, very good point.
It is.
Cynthia.
How many people was out of work when he
Oh,
shut
my
it down?
God.
11,000.
Thousands.
11,000.
11,000 just to start with.
God, I bet it's more than that.
Somewhere around in that neighborhood.
Well, 11,000 that was working on the pipeline.
Just the pipeline.
Yeah, just in that area, yeah.
So, goodness
He
gracious
shut the main,
almighty.
he shut the main flow off for sure.
Kenneth Mobley said to do away with the Democratic Party. That ain't a bad idea. John Bossy said to call them what they are, liberal socialist Democrats. And Mark Carrington said to open the pipeline again and restore our country.
There you go.
There you go.
Well said, guys. And our good friend, Dr. Eric Hudson. He's the chief of surgery up at our field office.
Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feel Real Good. But Eric says the first step is recognizing and coming to terms with the fact that no one single president doesn't have that much control over gas prices. And you know, that's true if you stop and think about it. Eric had some positive and negative answers to this, and again, had a lively but respectful debate with our other viewers.
We sure did. And I will say this, Eric. You know how much I love you to death. I do think a president has a lot to say in our gas prices. Look what happened when Donald Trump opened up the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
In his 4 years, our gas prices were low, low, low.
Yeah.
And when he left office, it was about $1.90. It had started to go up a little bit with all the COVID stuff going on. But he kept it under $2 for just about all of his 4 years in office.
That's a fact.
And yes,
Well,
he understood the situation of the business.
Well,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, he's a businessman.
that's exactly correct.
just like
So
Nixon was.
that would be the only thing that I would disagree with you, Eric, from my point of view. And of course, I respect your point of view, and you put it very well.
Absolutely did. But my point of view is it had to start somewhere. It had to pass over somebody's desk, and who's the most powerful guru to sign the bill, you know?
Supposed to be the president.
Yeah, well, that's what I hear.
And let's see here. Sandy Layla Armistead told us we have oil right here in the USA.
Yeah.
So stop importing it. Trump 100%. Our buddy Brian Emerton from Tennessee said to get rid of all of the Washington, D.C. and all of the swamp rats. And Cheryl Caswell Richards simply said to impeach Biden.
That would
Be careful what you ask for, because you might wind up with Kamala Harris or Nancy, where's my vodka Pelosi, you know.
You know, and it still amazes me.
That's funny, too. Did you see that this morning where bar owners and people across the country are pouring out vodka to protest Russia? Russian vodka.
Now, that's just alcohol abuse is what that is.
Well, we do make vodka in Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
Make it in your bathtub if you want to. Hell, you got inmates making it in the toilets.
Smearing off.
But you know, it still amazes me. Years and years ago, when I'd come home, I would work at an unmentioned or unsaid oil-related business, and just in the Austin Chalk Permian Basin, which runs from Austin smooth past Odessa, Texas.
Yeah.
There are still wells that are capped off at 3,200 feet.
Yeah.
And I've seen at 3,200 feet that oil is so rich it comes out like pure honey.
Yeah.
Gold and thick. I mean, it's almost like you want to pour it on a biscuit.
Well, we have so much untapped oil in this country, it's not even funny.
Especially in Texas.
That's true.
And offshore, that hadn't even hardly been touched.
That's true.
Jim Chakong said to do nothing. Politics is two wings on the same bird, and they will pretend one group is doing it to another group to miss as much fossil fuel as possible for the shareholders before the majority goes sustainable or electric, and by that time they own that too. Well, they'll own it going in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Nice observation, Jim.
Yeah, I saw a picture of a gas-powered minivan pulling a electric generator going by rescuing people.
Yeah,
Made my
people
eye-
with electric cars.
Well, I mean, he was driving a gas-powered car, giving people recharges on the highway that their batteries peter out on them. You know, I thought that makes sense.
Tabby Quick Kroll said to re-elect Donald Trump, $1.89 a gallon isn't bad.
Yeah.
Krisha Thacker Marker said to ride a bike when possible, and Jay Cossitz says to drain the swamp, and Michelle Purviance Brown said to get rid of this administration.
Well, that's one way to look at it, Chris.
It is it.
You've never seen me on a bicycle before. Look like a monkey humping a football. About every third pedal, I'm on my side, you know.
About every third pedal, I'd have to stop for oxygen.
Stop
At
smoking
my age.
Stop smoking another cigarette.
Yeah.
Chance Lancaster said to produce more in America, open the pipelines to ship the oil, keep the reserves full, and the refineries manufacturing, which
Bingo.
promotes employment as well. So, Stephen W. Crenshaw over in Hawaii said to drill some more. And David Harvey says to clean out the swamp.
That's exactly correct.
Well said, guys. That's funny.
Michael Thomas told us our problem is that, on one, this administration has not a lick of common sense. You can have all of the fancy education in the world,
Yeah.
but be dumb as a box of rocks.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, and that's about the truth.
Yep.
Why can't they figure out that we have more oil and gas in our country than the Saudis and other Middle Eastern countries? So wouldn't it be the sensible thing to use that energy to our advantage and ease the burden put on all Americans?
It absolutely would, but everybody knows
Those two words.
that common sense
Common
is not a
sense.
factor in what's going
Not in
on.
Washington, D.C. That's
No.
a fact.
Well, Grandpa, finally, Rita Wiley Wright told us to bring back the pipeline.
Bingo.
By God. Marty Blackwell Briscoe says to drain the swamp, and Alice Harvey from Emory said to make all the Democrats walk. Rex Hayes said, I wonder what the Democrats will say when Air Force One is electric powered. Just saying. It'll take it falling out of the sky before they catch
I
on.
wonder how many stops they'd have to make to get recharged.
Oh, yeah.
Take the president 3 weeks just to get across country.
Be a whole lot of potty breaks
Ain't
going on.
that so? Well, we appreciate all of the input that you guys had for us today
Yes, we
concerning,
do. You guys rock.
your feelings on the cost of gas prices these days. So, but thank you very much for that. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about, will the U.S. get into another war?
Yeah.
And you guys had some very colorful things to say about it, and we'll talk about that more when Grandpa and Pappy continues right after this.
I'm glad we saved money with that discount agent. I don't know why nobody else wanted this place. I'm glad we saved
And we're
We
back.
are back. Yeah, Special K keeps us going and keeps the boat from rocking too much.
That's right.
Well, will the United States get into another war? Will they jump into the Ukraine fray? I don't know.
They're pretty damn close to being there already. They're
Yeah.
what they send another 7,000 troops over.
Yeah, over to Poland. Yeah, they sure did. Let's see what you guys had to say about it. Toby Markle told us, yes, for sure, probably within our own borders, the way the things are going.
Yep.
Jennifer Hoopin Garner Thomas said, I agree with Toby. With a pansy in office, we could be screwed.
Yeah. And
Ain't
by
that
the
the
way, keep our service members in your prayers.
Absolutely.
'Cause I have a feeling all hell's about to break loose.
Yep.
It's just one of those gut feelings.
That's true.
Matt Code said, we already are. People are expecting another shot heard around the world. Well, I guarantee you it could happen.
Yeah.
We are already in an economic war with China, which unleashed a bioweapon of the world and is working with Mexico to run drugs and smuggle people into the U.S. You know, that's pretty
true.
profound. China and Russia are helping Iran hold the U.S. hostage on a nuclear deal Iran violated before Obama and Biden never left office, or ever left office. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been willing to lift sanctions on Iran's irresponsible oil industry while screaming about the environment and a need to transition away from our U.S. oil, gas, and jobs. We are at war. People need to quit waiting to see to see the media report some proverbial cannon blast to get that through their heads. And you know that's true.
That's the truth.
That's well said, man.
It is.
By God.
Paul Edgar of Lake Worth said, like I said before, birth pains.
Ow.
They're telling people to invest in gold and silver.
Yeah.
True born-again Christians should be looking that up. Russia, China, and Iran are keeping track of all of those transactions, and you'll be the first to be shot or have your head cut off. I don't worry about it. I think the church will be caught up in the clouds to be with Jesus. And Alice Harvey said, let me check Revelations.
The only book in the Bible just scared
And
the
Miss Alice
pea
will.
wad and snot out of me.
That's true.
Our good friend Crawdaddy Crawford Young said, I don't think we'll be at war for a long time because the stakes are way too high and every player involved has too much to lose, which is true. I believe we will enter the time of peace, and the Bible speaks of before the Antichrist comes into the scene it will be on. I believe things are getting conditioned or prepared for when it's time. Well, we've been warned for how many
that's true.
thousands of years? You see, war sounds pretty cool when you can blow up the other guy's part of the earth without any returned favors. However, when the whole earth gets blown up, it takes all the fun out of it. Damn sure would for me in the trailer hood. I know that. I mean, where are you going to go? With that being said, it'll take the influence of the Antichrist to convince someone that blowing up the earth is part of the business plan. So, we will continue with the competition of who can build a better mousetrap until it's time.
Very profound.
Crawford, you amaze the hell out of me sometimes,
You're
brother.
beginning to
But
worry
that-
me.
But that's a good way to look at it.
It is. Lana Lackey said, hey guys, yes, there will be a war. War creates money. Enough said. Stephen W. Crenshaw from Hawaii told us that every generation must fight for its freedom in order to understand what is at stake.
Yep.
James Hilliard said, unfortunately, I believe we will.
Yeah.
It seems the world depends on the U.S. to be the enforcers of the world, and we just happily smile and do it.
You know, that's been going on, God, longer than we've been around.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't everybody just take care of their own crap and leave us alone?
Yeah.
You know, we'll leave you alone if you leave us alone. So there. Krisha Thacker Marker told us, I do think the leaders of our country do not start working towards unity within our borders. The next war could be right here within our borders. That's what I'm thinking. Let us have our freedom within our homes and states. Take your ridiculous mandates out of the equation and quit giving away money we don't have. Living.
Preaching to the choir,
There
girl.
you go.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno. Living life in trillions of dollars in debt fixes nothing.
That's exactly correct.
But everybody says it's American way. You ain't American unless you're in debt.
Yeah, right.
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, that's true. And finally today, Sean Baker 44 said on Instagram that I am afraid we will be soon.
Yep.
We will be sending our young men and women to a stupid part of the world to fight aggression in a country that probably hates us. Wouldn't it make better sense to secure our borders with our military, keep out illegals, investigate those who suspect of being terrorists, and keeping our beloved country safe? Yes,
Yep.
that does. Sean, that makes too much sense.
Sure enough does. You know,
And the people in Washington don't understand it.
and you know what I've noticed? I mean, Jack and I are about the same age.
Yeah.
I've traveled a lot in my previous career.
Right.
Seen a lot of, mainly to ally countries.
Right.
And there has not been one to where in the local pub they're not laughing their ass off to U.S. because of ignorance.
Oh, yeah.
Ignorance.
Oh, yeah.
Say, where you getting all that money, mate? I don't have any of it, but you do.
Good eye.
You got more of my money than I got.
Well, we appreciate everybody's comments on that. We got a
Yes, we
couple
do.
of comments in from our viewers over the week, so let's get to those right quick. Tom Wilson wrote in to tell us that maybe the mainstream media will remember innocent until proven guilty when they pay Kyle Rittenhouse all of that money for defaming him during and after his trial. That was a good discussion.
Well, Whoopi,
And we did have a good discussion.
Whoopi Goldberg don't think it's good.
Or LeBron James.
Oh, that-
I'm still waiting for them to move out of the country like they said they would.
Well, they might not have a choice. Kyle's fixing to be a rich little kid.
Yes, he is.
And to close out this week's show, in our viewer comments, Allison Waters said, I happened upon your show on mask mandates, and I must admit I was pleasantly surprised at how well your viewers expressed their opinions. Well, that's the premises of our show.
That's exactly correct.
We talked about it a long time before we started it.
Yes, we did.
The one I remember was, if someone wants to wear a mask, so be it. Don't bitch at me because I don't. It was great. You and I are on the same page, Allison.
Allison, I'm right there with you, girlfriend.
You're our new best friend.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, we encourage you to send us your comments, your suggestions, your questions. If you have something you'd like for us to cover,
We love show topics.
absolutely. We'll throw it out there on our Facebook group page and get all the answers we can possibly get for you and make a show out of it. That's how this thing works. If you'd like to do that very thing, there's easy ways for you to do it. Right over my shoulder, you can see
There's one
that you can
there.
send it to Grandpa and Pappy at gmail.com.
Or, but wait. You can
There's more.
There's more. You can hit us up directly on our show website page. And all you got to do is just key in www.grandpaandthelletterinpappy.com, or you can simply just put grandpaandthelletterinpappy.com. I mean, the www, I don't even know what the hell it's for anymore. In your search bar, where you'll find a big old red button just like that one that Special K keeps popping up.
Yeah.
Push it and subscribe. We're very numbers driven.
Doesn't cost you anything.
It's your show. We put it on for you, and we work by numbers. I mean, that's just the way the world spins.
Absolutely.
And while you're there, you can find easy access to our Facebook group page,
Yeah.
where you can read all kind of stuff unedited until it hits the show.
Or you can go right to YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
You can go to Instagram and Twitter,
Or Twitter,
from it,
yeah.
and give us your opinions there.
And coming soon, I might TikTok it, but I don't like TikTok.
Well, there you go. Well, or you can go on our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook page, and as Pappy said, you could see what all of these folks are talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been fun today.
It has.
We're going to watch out and see what's going on across the waters and Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
And see how the world reacts. It should be an interesting week coming up, and we'll keep an eye on that and report it to you
Oh, boy.
on our next show.
In the meantime, keep your powder dry, too, okay?
Absolutely. Boy,
Good.
that's good
You
advice.
just might need a pile of it.
That's right. We always tell you at the end of every show to reach out and hug your kids and let them know you love them, especially in today's world.
That is a fact. I'm glad I don't have a child to raise.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Tell them they're well loved right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
By God, absolutely.
Take care of one another. We're about all we got left, okay?
That's exactly right. It doesn't cost anything to be nice to one another.
Yep.
We ask you to do that, show each other respect, and we will see you on our next show. Until then, God bless you. God bless America.
Absolutely.
Until we see you again, be safe.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.